Here's a brief emotional and sensual story with sad undertones. Lost in the Echo. The room was dimly lit, illuminated only by the glow of the city lights streaming through the curtains. Leah sat on the edge of the bed, her fingers nervously twisting the hem of her oversized sweater. Ethan stood a few feet away, his jacket still on, the faint smell of rain clinging to him. Neither of them spoke at first. The silence between them wasn't unfamiliar. It was heavy with unsaid things, with regret and longing. "I shouldn't have come," Ethan said finally, his voice barely above a whisper. Leah's gaze flicked up to meet his, her lips parting as if to protest, but no words came. Instead, she stood, closing the space between them. She reached for him, her hands trembling as they slid up his chest, pushing the wet jacket from his shoulders. "You're here now," she said softly, her voice breaking. Ethan hesitated before letting the jacket fall to the floor. His hands found her waist, pulling her closer. It was like this every time, the way they gravitated toward each other despite knowing the pain that would follow. They were a storm, fleeting and destructive, but neither could resist. Leah kissed him, and for a moment, the world fell away. Her hands tangled in his hair, desperate and needy, as if trying to hold on to something that was already slipping through her fingers. Ethan responded with the same urgency, his lips tracing a path down her neck, his breath warm against her skin. They fell into bed together, their bodies moving in perfect rhythm, a dance they had done so many times before. It was passionate and raw, but beneath it all was an undercurrent of sorrow. When it was over, Leah lay in his arms, her head resting against his chest. She listened to the steady beat of his heart, wishing she could freeze time. "I can't keep doing this," Ethan said suddenly, his voice cracking. Leah didn't reply. She knew this was the last time. He had someone waiting for him, someone who wasn't her, but knowing that didn't make it hurt any less. As the first light of dawn crept through the window, Ethan slipped away, leaving Leah alone in the bed they had shared. The sheets were still warm, his scent lingering in the air. She curled up, clutching the pillow he had rested his head on, tears streaming down her face. Because no matter how much they loved each other, some love stories weren't meant to have happy endings. Here's a more detailed and emotionally evocative version.